You came forth into this body and you are comparing and sorting and sifting through data. And all day, every day, you are launching preferences vibrationally, just like all creators do. And as you launch those preferences vibrationally, even though you and others in your neighborhood might not be able to see it because it has not manifested in a way that it can be translated through your physical senses, it exists nevertheless. It is a vibrational reality. And we hope today that we are able to bring you to the place where you are able to feel the content of your vibrational reality as vividly as we feel it and see it and know it to be. Because if you can accept the reality, the concrete reality of your vibrational reality, the reality that precedes all manifestations, and if you can begin today to look forward to your vibrational reality, you will today begin to live your life the way you intended to do it. Think about it. As source energy coming forth into a physical body, you actually made the decision to come forth, get ready for the drum roll, into an infant body with no teeth. An infant body, not able to even stand up. An infant body, completely dependent upon someone else for resources. An infant body, not ready to take hold of your life. An infant body, that's the confidence with which you came as consciousness into this time-space reality. Understanding so fully that even in that infant body, you would stand as a consciousness that would emanate preferences, knowing that those preferences would move into this vortex of creation, and that the larger part of you and that which man calls God would tend it and hold it and beam the light so bright and call you toward it. You understood, you had such faith and confidence that well-being was yours. And that is the confidence with which we want to restore you today. We want to bring you back to remembering who you are. We want to awaken within you a memory of this vortex of creation, this vibrational reality. We want to distract you from the reality that you call real life reality. And we want to convince you that the reality, even the reality that you are living right here today, is past tense. It's done. It's old news. And where everything is at, where all of the action of life is, where everything that you are, everything that you have recently become, and everything that you are humanly, physically moving toward is in this vortex of creation. We want to distract you from the reality that you are so enamored with and that holds you back vibrationally from matching up to who you really are. So when life causes you to ask for something that you're not yet living, and you are busy examining what you are living, your attention to what you are living keeps you from being a vibrational match to what you've asked for. The larger part of you is weller than ever before because of the sickness that you might be living right now. You've asked for more vitality and more stamina and more wellness than ever before. And vibrationally speaking, non-physically speaking, in the vibrational reality, in the vortex of creation, you are weller than ever before. But you often have your attention upon the current manifestation where you're not feeling good, or where the x-ray has pointed out something unwanted, or where the blood test is not giving you the results that you want to see. So as you not only face, wallow in. As you wallow in, we love you very much. As you wallow in your current reality, you deprive yourself of the vibrational connection to who you really are, and you hold back. You hold yourself back. You resist your own expansion. You resist your own well-being. And when you do, you feel negative emotion that is your indicator that you're doing just that. You have control of your relationship to the vortex. And it is our desire to use everything that we have to convince you, better word, to remind you, better word, to reawaken within you, better word, to restore you to your knowledge of the existence of this vortex, so that never again will you stand in an unwanted place and feel very much about it. Just say, oh, something to want. Esther was dusting. They brought home from a store. They talked the owner into selling them the display cabinets in a beautiful art store. And the display cabinets were beautiful. They were chrome and glass and gilded and fragile. They didn't realize that the shelves were sitting on posts, and the posts were stable, but the shelves had nothing to sustain them, front and back. And Esther one day took her dust cloth and just laid it on the top shelf, and as she barely moved the cloth, the big heavy glass fell off its little posts and crashed to the shelf below it, which crashed to the shelf below it, which crashed to the shelf below it, and broke everything on the shelf. All of the Yadros and Sabinas and all the pretty things that they'd been gathering around. And Jerry heard the crash from the other room and said, "Don't move, don't move, don't move." Esther standing there in her bare feet with shards of glass actually stuck in the floor all around her. No glass in her feet. And Jerry came into the room and said, "Oh, good, something to want." And he meant it. He meant it. He meant it. Because for weeks and months and years, Esther would see something pretty in a shop, and Jerry would say, "Now where will you put it?" And now Esther is saying, "Now I have a place for many new things." And we want you to understand, frivolous and unimportant as that story may seem to you, that is the spirit with which you come into this experience, because life is about expansion, and expansion is about more. And it is only when the larger part of you is expanded and you haven't let the rest of you catch up with it that you feel discord or discomfort. We're really saying to you that we would not attempt to go through a day unless we'd made an effort to go into the vortex. We would say, go in the vortex and then call your friend. Go in the vortex and then check your email. Go into the vortex and then get in your car and drive. Get into the vortex and then have the conversation with someone meaningful. Get in the vortex and then have your sexual interaction. Get in the vortex and then order your lunch. Get in the vortex and then eat your lunch. Get in the vortex and then. Get in the vortex and then. And discover how interesting and rich the in the vortex life can be, you see. If you could just hear us clearly and make a decision that you are going to do a little more ignoring reality as it is, and a little more looking in the direction of the vibrational reality that you have launched, talking more about where you're going and less about where you are, talking more about what you want and why you want it and less about how it's going to come, where it's going to come from, who's going to bring it, and when it's going to get there. As you talk about who you really are and what you really want, you will find yourself hanging around in the vicinity of this vortex where you will finally be. And these are the words we want to ring through you forevermore. We want you to know that in your vortex of creation, where the larger part of you is, law of attraction responding to the vibration of you, all cooperative components are assembled. And the question that you want to ask yourself all day, every day is, am I a cooperative component? And the answer is, if you're frisky, yes. If you're exhilarated, yes. If you're loving someone, yes. If you're happy, yes. If you're ornery, no. If you're afraid, no. If you're criticizing, no. If you're worried about money, no. There is no shortage in the vortex. There is no lack in the vortex. You cannot overspend in the vortex. You cannot get more than your fair share in the vortex. Your vortex will expand proportionally to the desires that you put there, and so will everyone else's, and the entire consciousness of the universe expands because of the combined mass of the vortices that you all are setting forth. In other words, you do not need to ever worry about depriving someone else of something because you have put it into your vortex of creation. They've got their own thing going on. And the only thing that ever causes anyone else to ever deprive themselves of something that they want is that they've put it into their vortex, but they are not going there because they're beating the drum of the current reality that is keeping them vibrationally out of sync with who they have now become. We can all go home. Because you will never hear it more clearly, and we have never said it better. So there cannot possibly be any questions. Well, there is just that one question. How do I get in the vortex? So let's talk about that. Every single time you feel negative emotion, no matter what, whether it's depression, whether it's fear, whether it's anger, whether it's overwhelmment, it does not matter what the negative emotion is, although there are levels of them in terms of intensity. All negative emotion indicates exactly the same thing. It means your life has caused you to expand to a new place, and the larger part of you has taken the expansion and is beaming the signal of it, but what you're thinking about in the moment of your negative emotion doesn't match up. And so you are holding yourself in resistant vibrational accord to who you really are and all that you have become. And until you find a way of letting go of that resistance, you're not going to feel good. You're not going to see the manifestation of what you want because you're on a different frequency than it is. You cannot set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. The frequencies have to match up. And you cannot have your frequency set on I'm sick or I don't have enough money or I'm lonely. You cannot have your frequency set there and be a vibrational match to the abundance and well-being and relationship that is not just queued up for you. It is a vibrational reality that you have access to right now if you will just stop doing that thing you do that holds you apart from it. So, what's that thing you do? Well, it's morphed into a lot of variety, but that thing you do is you look at what is instead of what is. Those who are listening on the recording are going to say, what? You look at what is already manifested reality instead of what is vibrational reality. And in doing so, you don't line up with the larger part of you who exists in this larger vibration. You see, we want to find a way of convincing you of who you really are. We want you to remember you didn't just start with that infant body. You are consciousness, eternal consciousness. You've been around a really long time. You didn't just blunder in here unworthy to prove worthiness. You didn't just blunder in here hoping that life would be better. You are a creative genius who said, what could possibly be better than to come as consciousness into a time-space reality that has this much evolution already under its belt? Now, physical humans, you don't get very excited when a desire is born within you often. Those of you who have come to understand the power of your creative ability, those of you who have come to understand that when you align with your own desire and therefore offer no resistance, those of you who know that are thrilled in the moment of the birthing of the desire. Oh, good, something to want, something to focus upon, something to bring myself into vibrational alignment with. But humans who don't understand focus, who don't understand energy, who don't understand vibration, who don't understand eternity, who don't understand who you were before you came into this body, who don't understand that even while you're in this body, the larger part of you still remains non-physically focused, those humans who don't understand that, who don't remember the big picture, those humans do not take any sort of delight in the launching of a desire until they've figured out how to bring it into manifestation. In other words, until most humans know how it's going to come, when it's going to come, where it's going to come from, who's going to help them. In other words, if you've got someone that you believe can assist you, someone who will back you up financially or support you in some way, most humans are not all that excited about a new unfulfilled desire. And the operative word is unfulfilled. That's the operative word. Unfulfilled. Unfulfilled. Where's it going to come from? Where am I going to get it? Who's going to bring it? How's it going to come? If you don't have answers to those questions, and you almost never have answers to those questions in the beginning of a launch, then your desire doesn't feel good to you. It feels like absence of something wanted. Because when you stand in a manifested reality, and your manifestation does not include the new desire that you just hatched, or the new desire you hatched yesterday, or the new desire you hatched last year or 18 years ago, that new desire that you hatched that you haven't figured out how to fulfill, it's not ringing your bells usually because you have forgotten the process. And the most important thing to understand is you are so enamored with your manifested reality that since you look at your reality and you can't see the car you want in your driveway or the mate you want in your bed or the money you want in your bank account, you can't see the way to book those tickets for that flight to that place you want to be. If you can't figure out how it's going to come about, then that desire is haunting for many of you and unpleasant for many of you.